Bachelor of Physiotherapy course. So before going to the questions, let's see how a question paper looks. So this may vary according to the universities. So here, according to this university where I'm talking about, this is Rajiv Gandhi University. So here you have 3 questions for long essays. Long essay, one essay carries 10 marks. So in this 3, you have to write 2. So you get 20 marks. Short essays, you'll have questions. From this, you have to write any 10. Each question carries 5 marks. So total of 50. Then coming to short answers, here you don't have any choice. You have to write all the questions, answers. So each question carries 3 marks. So it may be 3 marks in some universities, it may be 2 marks in some universities. So let's see the questions. So we are going to see the questions according to region. So the first topic is bones of upper limb. Here 5 marker can be asked from upper end of humerus. So you have to write everything about upper end of humerus. You have to write the ossification, you have to write the muscle attachments and whatever you can see there in the upper end of the humerus. Coming to the 3 marker or 2 marker short answers. The first question is attachment to greater tubercle of humerus. So you need to write what are the attachments there. Name the muscles attached to posterior surface of radius. So there are muscles attached to the posterior surface of the radius. There are multiple number. You have to write that. Name the muscles attached to coracoid process of scapula. Coracoid process gives some of the muscles. So that you need to write bicipital groove. You know the structure. It's an area between the greater and lesser tubercle. So that area. Name 4 changes at the level of deltoid tuberosity of humerus. So there are multiple changes that happens at the level of deltoid tuberosity of humerus that you need to mention. Name the contents of bicipital groove of humerus. Again, the bicipital groove, or it is also called as intertubercular sulcus. So structures in that. Enumerate proximal row of carpal bones. So just write the names of carpal bones. The proximal row of carpal bones. So you need to also know about the distal row of carpal bones. Coming to the next region, that is pectoral region. So in the pectoral region, the 10 marker can be describe mammary gland under the following headings. So here subheadings are given. So always the questions will be under subheading. So you can write the subheadings. Each subheading carries marks. For here it is 10 marks, so it carries 2, 2, 2, 2. Or no, it may not be 2. It may be usually it is depending on the paper number of marks. If it is 10 mark here, possibly it is yeah 3, 3, 2, 2. So 3 plus 3, 6, 8, 10. So that can be the arrangement. So that depends. Anyway, coming to the next 5 marker, clavipectoral fascia. So here clavipectoral fascia, you should always write the attachments and also write the structures piercing clavipectoral fascia. Coming to 2 marker, yeah, it is here, structure piercing clavipectoral fascia. Coming to the next region, axilla. The 10 marker can be brachial plexus. The brachial plexus is asked, you need to write about formation, how it forms, branches, applied anatomy. Now the next, branches of axillary artery. So axillary artery is a continuation of subclavian artery. You need to write about the branches, first part, second part, and third part in detail, where it supplies all the branches. The axillary artery, again the same question, extent, from where to where it extend, branches, relations, blood anatomy. Now the next one is discuss the origin, course, and relation of axillary artery with its branches. So again, axillary artery is asked many times in different ways. Coming to 5 marker, boundaries and contents of axilla. Erb's paralysis. So Erb's paralysis can be studied in brachial plexus. So that is also asked as a 5 marker. Posterior cord of brachial plexus. You need to mention how it is formed and what are the branches of it, which muscle it supplies, and clinical applications if you have something, right? Branches of axillary artery. So axillary artery is again asked many times. So just write them in axillary artery branches. First part, first one artery, two, second part, two arteries, third part, three arteries. Mention the site of injury, nerve roots involved, muscles paralyzed, disability in case of Erb's paralysis. So you need to detail about Erb's paralysis. You know Erb's point. So explain about that. Coming to the 2 marker here in this area, Again, question from axillary artery, 4 branches of axillary artery. Again, mention 4 branches of posterior cord of brachial plexus. So here you can get a question from other cord of brachial plexus. They may ask you branches from lateral cord of brachial plexus. So that also you should read. Coming to the next region, scapular region. The 5 markers, rotator cuff muscles. So you need to write about the rotator cuff muscles, attachments, function, action, nerve supply. Deltoid muscle, talk about the origin insertion and also mention about the intramuscular injections which are given to the deltoid muscle at what level. 2 marker, rotator cuff muscles. Again, name the rotator cuff muscles. So it is 2 or 3 marker. So it's by default you should know. Now rotator cuff of shoulder joint. Again, the same thing. They're asking. Name 4 structures deep to deltoid muscles. So there are some structures which are deep to deltoid muscles, some joints, some bones. So just mention about that. And coming to the next region, arm. So it's 10 marker, cubital fossa. So cubital fossa is a 10 marker. So write about the boundaries, write how it is formed, the floor, the roof, contents from medial to lateral, it's clinical aspects. Describe boundaries and contents of cubital. Again the same question. And again describe the origin, course, relations and branches of radial nerve till it reaches elbow. So here you have to mention the formation of the radial nerve up to the elbow. Radial nerve is again continuing below the elbow, but you have to mention up to elbow. So this question can be asked in different ways, like you can get a question of ulnar nerve. So they may ask you describe the origin, course, relation and branches of ulnar nerve. Maybe up to the wrist. So that can be asked, because up to the elbow ulnar nerve is not having much branches. So up to the wrist they can ask you. 5 marker, cubital fossa. Again it is coming. Contents of cubital fossa. So again 5 marker, you can get a question like flexor retinaculum. I'm sorry, this is arm, so it won't come here. Anyway, cubital fossa can be asked. Fine. 2 marker, name the contents of cubital fossa. Again, attachments of biceps brachii. So biceps brachii can be asked attachments. So origin insertion you have to mention. So attachments in sense only the origin and insertion. You can be strict to the question which is asked. You don't have to describe much for 2 marker or 3 marker, and you can get good marks in 3 marker if you write correct points. Also you can get a question like attachments of triceps brachii in this region. You may get a question. I'm just telling some related questions, so you can just note down that. Forearm and hand. So in this area 10 marker can be origin insertion, origin, course, termination and applied anatomy of radial nerve. So radial nerve can be asked as a full essay where you have to write about the formation and distribution, how it is applying. Again the radial nerve is asked here. So in this area you can get question of median nerve as well. They can ask you median nerve, origin, course, termination and applied anatomy. It's another nerve. So the next one is 5 marker. Name the structure passing below the flexor retinaculum. So here flexor retinaculum can be asked as a 5 marker, flexor retinaculum itself. So where you have to mention about, if flexor retinaculum is asked, you have to mention about the attachments of flexor retinaculum and also write about the structures passing below the flexor retinaculum. Here they have asked specifically the name structures passing below the flexor retinaculum, so you can just write the structures. But remember, flexor retinaculum is also one of the repeated question. Similarly, extensor retinaculum also can be asked. Supinatus of forearm. Supinatus of forearm, you need to mention about the supinatus. The supinator is one muscle, another one is supinatus. Yeah, other one is again biceps. Biceps also comes here, so we just mentioned about that. Yes, here it is there, flexor retinaculum of hand. So also read about extensor retinaculum. 2 marker, structure passing through carpal tunnel. There are structures which are passing through carpal tunnel. So just read about that. Distribution of ulnar nerve in the hand. So ulnar nerve has a course in the hand. So explain that it is dividing into superficial and deep branches. So that you have to mention. Describe the carpal tunnel and its clinical anatomy. So carpal tunnel is asked repeatedly, and the clinical anatomy of it. That flexor retinaculum of the hand. Again, the question has come. Distribution of deep branch of ulnar nerve. Here specifically asking deep branch of ulnar nerve. So only write the deep branch. So it's a 3 marker question, so we don't have to explain much. Mention the course, relations and branches of radial artery in the forearm. So radial artery, it reaches the forearm. It's a branch of brachial artery. How it is forming there, how it is, what is the course of it, branches. Describe the superficial palmar arch and its formation and branches. So talk about the formation of superficial palmar arch. Write briefly about median nerve in the forearm. Mention the attachments of extens retinaculum in the hand and its contents. So here extens retinaculum is already asked. Name the deep flexors of the forearm. So mention about the deep flexors. They are the pronator quadratus, flexor pollicis longus, flexor digitorum profundus. Lumbricals. Write about the attachments of lumbricals. Nerve supply. Wrist drop is again a clinical condition where the radial nerve is affected. Coming to the next, joints of upper limb. So here the joints are Stenmarker shoulder joint and the shoulder joint under the following headings. Again the shoulder joint is asked, parts forming the joints. So just mention about the bonds which are forming it, ligaments, blood supply, nerve supply, applied anatomy. Coming to the next, again shoulder joint is asked. Here they have specifically asked the muscles, movements of the joint, applied anatomy. So write about the muscles, at least know two movements of a muscle, mention that, and applied anatomy. Shoulder joint is again asked, type, subtype, ligaments, relations, movements. Ligaments are asked here, so mention about that. Adductor pollicis and describe first carpo metacarpal joint. So adductor pollicis is asked specifically, and first carpo metacarpal joint. Usually we don't read about the thinner muscles much for the exam, but this is actually not a thinner muscle, but it comes in that area, adductor pollicis. So read about this muscle and first carpo metacarpal joint. Classify the joints with example. Describe the ligaments, movements and muscles produced responsible for the movement of shoulder joints. So shoulder joint is asked repeatedly, but always also remember that you can get questions like wrist joint in this area. 5 marker, supination and pronation. So supination and pronation, you need to mention about the bones, joints where it is occurring and the muscles producing it. Coming to lower limb, I think lower limb we will discuss in the next class.